I like to think about it like this. Like motivation is what hypes you up the night before to do something. Discipline is the thing that gets you up out of bed in the morning. So if you have the discipline and you have the goals in place, you're gonna get it done. Give it to me, give it to me. Being willing to stand up for something when there's a bunch of resistance. Dude, I don't know. Dude, I hate myself for this. Dude, this is gonna blow. Dude, my legs are like numb.
Let me out, let me out.
Welcome back to the video, guys. I'm here with Nick Jelderks. He's a friend of mine that I met at school, and he is very passionate about a lot of things, but particularly kind of hybrid training, ultra marathon running, and then also just kind of entrepreneurialism, business, and marketing.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great time today.
So Nick, I was just gonna ask you, like, what kind of got you into kind of fitness in the first place, and how has that kind of just like changed your life?
Yeah, I first really got into it when I was between elementary school, like 3rd to 5th grade. I was pretty overweight. I definitely like felt it. Like my, I guess mental health was pretty tanked from that, and just like my personal image was just not to where it should be. And so between the summer of 5th and 6th grade, like before I started middle school, I just took initiative and was like, you know what, like I need to make a change out of it. And so over the span of 3 months, I lost 40 pounds. And that's how I really got into just eating healthy, running consistently, and just feeling a lot better about myself. And since then, man, I've just been able to really build up my strength, my stability, stamina, you know, everything. And that helped me go from more of the lifting side to running, and I just have flown with that ever since.
That's one of my favorite things about fitness is like, it's one of the few things in life where you can set goals, work towards them, and then you get to like physically see how you can get towards those goals.
There's this one quote that I heard from Instagram of all very credible sources, but it was talking about how life doesn't get any easier, we just get stronger and are better decision makers. Being fit is hard. Running a marathon is hard, but so is being overweight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pick your hard.
Yeah, like working 12 hours a day at somebody else's business is hard, but also running your own business is hard. And so being able to decipher and pick your battles into what you want to do can really define not just the skills that you create, but who you are as a person and what you bring to the table in whatever environment you walk into.
Would you say like fitness has affected your faith in any way, or vice versa? Like, you think there can be like a tie between those two things, or?
There definitely is. There definitely is. And I guess I'd pertain this more to running, I guess, just because that's something I'm more into a lot. Especially when you're running and you just feel out of breath, out of gas, like you're tired. You just don't even want to do anything anymore. And it just feels like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I here? And there's definitely parts in life where you're going to feel that exact same way in terms of, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why has God put me in this place? And just like how it is with training, you have to be able to not only trust yourself, but more importantly, to trust Him at the end of the day, because He not only knows what's best for you, but He knows the path that you're going to be on. And His path for you is far better than any path that we could ever come up with. Doesn't matter how meticulous we are, doesn't matter how far out in advance that we plan it. You know, His plan is always going to be better for ours.
Well, what are your thoughts on like masculinity, first of all? Like, kind of just the general concept of masculinity in the world right now.
Masculinity gets a bad rap, especially if you're on social media too much. Because everyone has an opinion, which is fair.
Right.
But I think a big question that everyone has to ask is, are you going to base your beliefs based off what other people say or what God says?
Right.
You know? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what other people think, but it matters what God thinks, because He knows you better than anybody else.
But yeah, actually, I saw this article. I'm gonna pull up. It was this study for like young men in Australia. And basically they were asking about like traditional masculinity. Like, did they agree with it? And it was like 1,000 dudes from Australia. And so they said, like, do you agree with traditional masculinity? But they define traditional masculinity as like aggressive, risk-taking, stoic, heterosexual, homophobic, transphobic, emotionally inexpressive, hostile to femininity, and dominant. And so I was like, interesting. Like, that's their like objective measurement for like what traditional masculinity is.
That whole thing you just quoted was propaganda.
It's like, dang, dude. And most of the young guys are like, no, we don't agree with that. Like, that's dumb. So they were like, okay, there's 1,000 young men in Australia, or they said like 80% or something, that like don't agree with traditional values, you know? And so they're like, and so it's like, I don't know, how do you think like we can define that in a way that's, I guess, like objectively true, and like start to kind of reverse the worldly view of masculinity and focus more on like good masculinity?
You bet. Relating to objective truth?
Yeah.
Where do we get objective truth from? Where do you get objective truth from?
Well, hopefully the Bible.
There you go. I mean, that's ultimately the answer that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So what's cool about the Bible is all of the problems that we're facing today, that the world's facing today, is all answered in that book.
Yeah.
The problem is the people that are defining these terms, are they looking at that book?
Right. No,
Probably not.
Probably not.
So instead, they're like, you know what? I want to take matters into my own hands, and I want to define what something is.
Right.
Well, then at that point, is it objective truth? If I'm believing in your opinion, not subjective.
Right.
So then if we all have subjective truths, what's objective? Well, the objective truth is found within Scripture.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to define masculinity, I'm not going to go look at some Reddit thread and see, oh, well, what does Dog Lover 4201 say about this? Like, no. I'm going to go look and read in Psalms and the Proverbs and through the New Testament and figure out what that means. Moses did not have Reddit. Okay?
True.
David did not have Reddit. Okay?
Yeah.
All these guys did not have anything. What did they have? They had their faith. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how they figured it out.
Yeah, and see, it's hard because if you take God out of everything, like everything does become subjective, because it's just based on like different people who think they're smarter than everyone else, you know,
Exactly.
but they're not. They're just, you know, we're all just people. So
Yeah.
cool. All right, let's hit some weights. Dang,
Ooh, you all right?
yeah.
No, I'm in the middle of a video, but listen, you're doing a great job. You gotta keep going. You're doing great. All you gotta do is you gotta keep killing it. Remember, all these other people are saying you just gotta tone it out. You'll do great. Keep working. Have a good time. Have fun.
What would you say is like the key to being a hybrid athlete? Like, do you just have to like set enough goals for yourself that you stay motivated for both, or like how do you not like lose motivation for, say, because I know for me, like when I'm running or when I was doing track
Yeah.
and I wanted to gain muscle, I was like, dang, like this sucks. Like I feel like I'm not gonna ever be able to gain muscle, and so I kind of gave up on that.
Yeah.
But is that, you just keep them both in your mind like most of the time, or you just like set one aside and go all in on one of them?
I mean, I'll tell you this, like you will lose motivation.
Yeah.
There's no surprise.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows, you will lose motivation. The thing is I like to think about it like this. Like motivation is what hypes you up the night before to do something. Discipline is the thing that gets you up out of bed in the morning. So if you have the discipline and you have the goals in place, you're gonna get it done. You just gotta keep that contract with yourself. So like for me, anytime I'm doing something big, like if I'm training for a race or I'm trying to put on muscle or I need to hit a certain goal, like weight-wise, if I'm trying to move a set amount of weight, I write it down as like it's a contract. So I say like, all right, if I'm giving myself a set amount of months, so like it's May now when we're filming, so like, okay, if I wanna try to squat 400 pounds, let's say, I'm gonna give myself till September, okay? So in September 2024, I will squat 400 pounds. And then you show up every day, do all the different routines, eat right, sleep well. And if you do everything in place, you will see progress.
What happens if you don't hit the goal?
And let's say, like for the 400-pound squat example, let's say I get 370 or 380. So I'm real close.
Right.
But I consistently showed up every day and made the most of it. I ate right, I slept well. And if I didn't hit 400 pounds, it's like, okay, like that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's not always going to be perfect and sunshine and rainbows. Like life's not going to be 70 and sunny every day. So maybe it's giving yourself another month or two to get to that goal.
Right.
Last year, you might remember this, I tried when I was bulking up, I wanted to hit 315 on bench press before like end of March.
Yep.
And I tried several times and I didn't do it. I probably tried for like a month straight. Like I had it on the bar and I just couldn't get like the last little bit. But it's being able to say, okay, let me re-strategize, regroup, and have a new, fresh outlook on it, and then attack it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when I did that, within the next week, I hit it. So yes, I was late in terms of reaching the goal, what I want.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I maintained discipline throughout it and stuck with it even when it was hard.
But I don't know, there's something about just like getting guys in the gym and just chatting and just having a good time, you know? I think like, honestly, maybe one of the keys to like bringing masculinity back in like a good way might be like fitness. Because I think like young guys, like in like high school age guys right now are so excited about just like being able to work out and like train and work hard for something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just tired of like all the BS, you know?
Dude, I'd agree. There's just a lot of noise everywhere, and everything, everyone, and every brand is fighting for your attention. If you weren't here right now, the second you walk outside, there's a brand that's fighting for your attention, that's fighting for your wallet, that's fighting for your eyes, fighting for everything. And so having this avenue within fitness serves a lot of great purposes, and one of which those can be through faith.
Yeah.
You think so, yeah?
What's up, Ranger? This is Ranger. He's so cool. He'll just like come up to you in the middle of the set and just start licking you. You're like dying on the floor and he's just licking you.
I've been very blessed to have my dad as a great role model. I know that not everyone has that for them. So I've been very blessed in that aspect. He's been a big light to me. He's been a big help to me in terms of not only how to be a man of faith, but also just a man of courage and being willing to stand up and for something when there's a bunch of resistance. It's been powerful. As far as other people, I'd say, honestly, it's just through books where I find a lot of inspiration from, just like what people have to say. Because I find that people tend to, I feel like you get a better relational feel when you're reading a book as opposed to watching a video on YouTube. That's what I think. You know, everyone's different in that. So for me, I've been a big fan. Outside of the Bible, the two books that I would recommend a lot of men to read is The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. That's one you got to read. And the second one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I'd say those two are really good as a pair because Can't Hurt Me really addresses how far you can really go in the discipline aspect. But The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry really helps with taking all the noise out of life and being able to find peace in such a chaotic and hectic world. So I would say those two for sure.
Okay. I'm actually reading Never Finished, David Goggins' second book.
It's a great one. Mm-hmm. I can tell that I'm weak because this is like feels heavy for me right now.
That's okay. That's okay. You're on the running grind right now, so
yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it is.
There have been so many times throughout this journey that I've been on, because I've been actually like training a ton since January. There have been so many times where I just like, I don't know if it's body dysmorphia, but it's just like I look at myself and I'm just like, I don't like what I see. But it's important to know, at least for me, it's like I'm also not training for aesthetics.
Right.
I'm training for performance. So I just kind of have to live with that. The one fallacy I see within bodybuilding regards to faith is, you probably have seen this before, but people will prioritize their body as their God. And that just like is everything to them. At least I'm not saying everybody's like that, but a lot of people within the bodybuilding community, they tend to fall in that, whether they realize that or not. And it's just being able to understand and self-reflect on, okay, is this the most important thing in my life right now? You know, that's something I always have to keep in check too. Is running and training for this race the most important thing in my life?
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem. I think Yeah, especially in bodybuilding, just because it's so like easy to like idolize what you see, kind of, or do the opposite where you like hate yourself, kind of. But I do think that can kind of be any sport as well. Like I think it's really easy for any sport to become like an idol, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one reason I really like Chris Bumstead, because I think like man, this guy's the best in the world. Like, you know,
5-time champion. Yeah.
And he's so humble, like he's willing to like cry in front of people, like, and you can just tell like how genuine he is, how authentic he is. Like he's puts his family first. He like just had a kid, so he might be retiring actually. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I just really like his example of like humility, and I don't think he's even a Christian necessarily, but I think there can be a good balance between like having these goals and dreams and like really pursuing them, but then at the end of the day being like separating your identity from the results. I guess.
He's very soft-spoken for such a platform that he has. It'd be very easy for him to just be like, I'm the best, I can do whatever I want. It takes a very methodical, soft-spoken, humble approach. And that creates a very genuine brand and content that he's built. That's why people like him, man. I've never done a cold plunge.
Really?
It's a fun fact. I've never done a cold plunge before.
You want to start today, or I'll do it if you do it.
How do you think your faith has grown or changed through starting to lift in bodybuilding? I'm going to turn the tables on you.
Okay. It's been, I'd say discipline has been like a big factor, specifically in my faith, I think, because like when I was younger, I kind of used to think like, oh, if I don't feel like spending time with the Lord, like I shouldn't, because it should be like I want to. But the problem is that like you're never gonna feel like sitting down and being quiet and like taking a pause out of your day, you know, if you don't start doing that. It's like any relationship, like if you don't build somewhat of a foundation, you're not going to spend time with that person. Your faith still takes discipline in order to truly have like a good relationship with the Lord.
Time is essential for that. You need time to grow. I don't care what it is. You need time. So relating to your bulk, you'll trust it, because within a couple months or however long you want to do it, you get to a point where like, I've reached it. Okay. Then you'll feel glad that you got to that point. Now you're in the next phase where it's like, all right, now I'm going to look really good. Exactly. The same thing. It's like, all right, I have all the things in my business taken care of, all the accounting, all the marketing, the sales. All right, now let's go get people. Now let's get people interested in our products. It's the same thing. Once your faith is built up to a point, now it's like, it gets so good. Your life becomes so fruitful and wonderful that you just want to share it with people naturally. And the only way to get to those points is through time.
Dang, Nick, you should start a podcast.
Hey, so I don't know if somebody's told you, I already have one right now.
Go check out, I was going to say this in the intro, go check out Nick's podcast. I'll put the link up here. Well, he talks about like a bunch of different like products, specifically sports, Nike, sneaker realm, and he has some really cool just like articles that he wrote about them, brand deals and branding with athletes and all that. So it's pretty cool. If you want to plug it.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's the Triple J podcast.
Yes,
more of what Josh was saying. If you're interested within like sneakers at all, here's the thing. I'm a big sneakerhead, but not everyone knows shoes, and not everyone knows why certain shoes sell and why they don't. So what I do is I basically share that with you through the different case studies that I've done, through the videos that I have, and the podcast that I'm building. All of this is being laid out. And so you can take a look at it. It's very simple. I go through different types of shows within the show to keep things interesting. Sometimes it'll be case studies, Q&As, scour the internet for different trends, sometimes guests on the show. All of that's included within this one platform that you need to check out.
Are you guys using the Blaze Pods right now? No? Cool.
You can also move them higher.
Okay. Okay, cool.
We just moved them low.
Perfect. Yeah, well, I'm pretty short too, so this might work out actually.
This is like the arcade game.
Yeah, it's basically the arcade game. You're gonna hit the blue pod. You can hit those with your feet.
Oh, I can hit him with my feet too?
Yeah, the ones on the ground.
Okay. Ooh, good time. Where's the other one? Boom, 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 boom. Game time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's see how you did.
10 maybe. Not even.
11. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's what they say when you suck, right? This thing is rigged, dude. This thing's rigged.
It's just like the carnival games.
4.6. 4.6.
Oh. You got it. Right here. There you go.
Where is it?
Where is it? Where is it?
Dang it. It's at 88. I think it gets like 200 something.
You trying to cook me on here? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, just...
Let me out! Let me out!
It's pretty chilly though.
Yeah, it's like 40. Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. I could do it first if you want.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't make you do that. They do have towel, dude. I don't know. Dude, I hate myself for this.
Dude, this is gonna suck so bad.
How you feeling, baby?
Well, my duck's gone. There it is. I had to have my duck with me. Dude, this is gonna blow. Dude, my legs are like numb. I'm doing 62 miles this week. So this, like, it's probably gonna help. But man, it's gonna be, oh, dude, my legs are numb. Do you feel that when you get it?
Yes, sir. Okay, nice. Control your breathing. Yep, in and out, in and out. There you go. Nice.
This is my first time doing something like this. And yeah, it sucks.
It's not fun.
Like your whole body kind of goes numb. Like I can't really feel my legs.
And then you start talking, you're like,
Yeah. Holy.
And then the feet and the hands are rough too, because they start to like,
My feet are freaking
you
numb.
just like can't feel them.
Dang.
And see, now you're chilling. Like now it's like,
It's tough, bro.
it still sucks, but like,
I'm glad that I
yes.
didn't wimp out. I'm trying to think of words to say.
3, 2, 1. Nice. Good job, Nick.
I feel glad that I did it
Yeah.
because it's very easy to like look at something like that and be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's worth trying. I'm not saying you got to do it every single time, but like give it a shot, see what happens. That's also part of life too, is like, you never know what you really like or don't like until you actually try it for the first time. This has come from somebody that's a picky eater, used to be fat, all that, didn't want to try anything new. But I'll tell you this, man, when I started trying new things, like I started enjoying life a lot more.
Yeah.
And even if it's this or trying some new food, like go out, push yourself and try it. You want to do it
I
or no?
suppose I have to do it now.
You don't have to.
Well, I told you I'd do it if you did it.
I'll do it if you do it.
Yeah, I freaking hate this too. It's not fun.
Here, get this in here too.
I need my ducky. Oh gosh.
Doing okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Here's your towel. Take that.
Cool, Nick.
I'm holding on to too many things.
Thanks for joining me with a little workout today, a little cold plunge.
Absolutely. I think my favorite part was the most challenging part, which is what we're looking at now. At least for me, I've never done a cold plunge before. So getting the chance to do it and kind of see like the whole mental side of it, it was a treat. It was tough, but it was a treat.
Appreciate you, Nick. Thank you.
Absolutely. See ya.